Welcome to the Jeff Crilley Show. And now, here's Jeff Crilley.
Good rainy Saturday morning, Dallas-Fort Worth. We have another action-packed show today. We're going to be talking about philanthropy, a giving back revolution. We're going to be talking about an app that's going to change the real estate market as we know it today. What happens when employees own the company? Is that an idea for you? But we're going to start with refeathering your nest. I think anybody who owns a home in DFW has considered, well, is it time to remodel? But you're always asking yourself the question, if I put money into the home, will I ever get it back out again? So our first guest is Stephan Sardone. He is with Sardone Construction. Stephan, welcome to the Jeff Crilley Show.
Thanks, Jeff. Glad to be here.
Yeah. So I guess the first question is, I've always been told, gosh, if you really want to throw away money, you put in a pool because you'll never get it back out again. But there are rooms of the house where it really does make sense to remodel if you ever hope to sell it. Like if your kitchen looks like the Brady Bunch decorated it,
Yeah.
Bad idea?
Yeah, everybody goes to bathrooms and kitchens. I think the key there is if any of part of your home looks bad, it's going to be a good investment to make in it by making it look nice.
So one of the points you make is you got to live there. So it can't strictly be a dollars and cents decision.
Right. It's important. Usually people's homes are their largest financial investment, but simultaneously they're their largest, personal investment. It's where their family lives and does life and has friends over. And so at the end of the day, a spreadsheet's really not going to give you the answer of should you do it or should you not. It's going to help. But at the end of the day, you have to decide, do I want to make this investment in my family and in my home? So
let's talk about, you said that the master bath, the bedroom, and the kitchen are the big three where, those are going to be deal breakers. If you are selling the home one day and somebody comes in and sees this hideous kitchen, they're walking the other way, right?
Yeah, bathrooms and kitchens, always you want those to look nice, where people probably spend most of their life. But as of lately, at least in our area, one of the biggest things that people are paying attention to is the mudroom and the laundry room. Usually these are the same. And this is a place really for people to come in, drop their stuff, close the door, do the laundry, keep it clean, have a place where stuff can be, and then enter the rest of the house kind of decluttered from there. But according to Realtor.com, that's the number one thing right now that people pay attention to.
You have a very successful company, but you're kind of an accidental entrepreneur. Right? You didn't start out wanting to do this, did you?
No, I had no interest in construction or business for that matter. But I started as a grunt in college, working on a project, a building. I got hired by a contractor, a tile setter actually. After college, moved back here, went out on my own. The business grew kind of on its own, evolved into a remodeling company. And then once I finished graduate school here, I decided I really love this. I really love what I'm doing and the opportunities I'm afforded and the people I get to meet. So we changed our name and our brand and everything, and we relaunched, and I've been hanging on for dear life ever since.
But you have fun doing it.
I do. It's a lot of fun.
Right. So one of the things that struck me as I was preparing for this segment is those do-it-yourself shows. There's got to be 50 now teaching you how, you just watch a couple of YouTube videos. And
yes.
How many times do you come in to clean up after someone's handiwork?
If they're not too embarrassed to call, lots of times. And usually it's the spouse who wasn't doing the work that ends up calling us and trying to get our help. But yeah, there's a fair bit of that as well. We're coming in and we're trying to fix somebody else's handyman work.
Well, so I'm your ideal client because I'm the guy who, his dad didn't teach him how to do anything, and it's just disastrous. In fact, one time, this is going to horrify you, the ceiling light in the kitchen was starting to sag a little bit, so I'm thinking duct tape.
Yeah, right.
So I got some duct tape, and without my wife knowing it, I went up there and started to, fix it.
Clever.
And in the middle of the night,
right,
we hear this crashing sound. And she's like, oh, my goodness, what is that, burglars or what is that? Go downstairs.
Ducks.
So I go downstairs, and there is my handiwork all over the kitchen floor, shattered fluorescent bulbs. Horrible.
Who'd you blame it on?
The burglar.
Yes.
We
got
just
away.
missed him. He came in, he smashed the light, honey. No. So, well, let's talk about some trends, because I know for many people these days, the backyard is becoming the favorite room in the house.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that.
Well, for the few days a year that we have nice out here, and even more than that, people do want to spend it outside. It's interesting. I mean, like you can obviously see a lot of construction going on, and you see bigger and bigger windows. You see basically people trying to incorporate the outdoor lifestyle and the indoor lifestyle in whatever capacity it is. People like to watch TV, but they're also trying to be outside more. They're trying to grill. They're trying to have friends over, watch the game. Well, let's watch it outside. Let's grill outside. Let's, whatever it is. And we're doing a lot of fun stuff outside, putting in obviously outdoor kitchens, but very comfortable living spaces and, nice fire pits outside and covered areas where you can sit around with a glass of wine or meal or with friends and really bring everybody out there. It's a lot of fun, some of the stuff we're doing.
So when you come into a home, especially an older home that wasn't really built for the style of living that we do today, do you see through walls, figuratively speaking? Do you walk in and you say, oh, gosh, I know we could move that wall, we could do this. How does your brain work?
I think I try to understand what those families' goals are first. I don't want to come into a job site and say, this is what we should do without knowing what they need.
Right.
The most important thing is they called me there because they have a problem. Somebody's stuck in the kitchen cooking and cleaning and doing all that while the rest of the family's on the other side of a wall,
right,
like you said. Or it's dark in there and it's kind of depressing. And they need more light. They need natural light. Or they hate watching TV the way they do it because of how the room is divided up, or their friends, they want to entertain. They feel like they're the kind of family that would entertain, but they're embarrassed to have people over to their house, or when they do, everybody ends up gathering in one room and it's really tight and really cramped. And we want to find out, so what it is that they are looking for. What do they need? What are their goals? What are their priorities? How can we, walls aside, what's ideal? And then once we start there, then we can start figuring out, okay, what needs to move, what needs to go where, and how can we accommodate? And it's everything from, asking personal questions like, who gets up in the middle of the night the most to use the restroom? Because we're going to plan this room around that person's side of the bed being closest to the restroom, so they can do that without waking up the other person every time.
That's really cool. Stephan Sardone with Sardone Construction is my guest. That's sardoneconstruction.com. Let's talk about closets. I mean, if my wife was here in the studio right now, she would say, this is the most important room of the house. And when they built some of these older homes, the closet was not a big deal. But here in DFW, I mean, you couldn't even put one woman's shoes in some of the closets of the homes built in the 40s, right?
Yes, between shoes, purses, and furs, oddly enough. We've done a lot of great stuff with closets. We had one client, and we did the whole remodel based on what she needed her closet space situation to be. And she had over 50 furs, 100 pair of shoes, at least 50 purses, and everything was around putting those in a closet on display, easy access, in a really great, organized, pretty way.
And is that sometimes converting the guest bedroom into a closet?
It's that. A lot of times there's a little office in the front of the house adjacent to the master suite that doesn't get used. People stuck stuff in it because it's supposed to, because that's what the builder told them to do. Or maybe it's a formal dining room that gets used twice a year. And they're like, we use this room for Thanksgiving and Christmas, and that's it. What can we do with it? There's a lot of times there are wasted spaces. There's excess closets all over the house, whether it's for old HVAC or water heaters that are now tankless, or just coat closets all over the place that people stuck with board games and junk that they never wear. When that stuff could go elsewhere, we could capture a lot of those hallways and spaces and give them more closet for what they need.
One of the things that struck me about you when we first met is that you're an artist. I mean, this is a craft to you, and I'm sure that there are probably ways that you could save a little money doing it this way or that way and cut some corners. But for you, this is art, is it not?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I feel like that. I feel like I get a lot of creative opportunity with what I do. For me, it's less about like, oh, this color and this table and this flooring. That definitely is part of it. But for me, the creative juices really flow when I'm trying to figure out a solution to make these families' lives better. And then, of course, the most important thing, within budget.
Perfect.
Which is very, very, very difficult always, because everybody always has, their eyes are bigger than their stomach, so to speak. But, I treat it like it's my home and my problem and my life, and I want to solve this problem with them and try to find out a way where I can bring these people together without breaking the bank.
Stephan Sardone, Sardone Construction is the website. Thank you so much for joining us on the Jeff Crilley Show.
Thanks, Jeff. It was fun.
Coming up next, Uber for realtors. A man who's shaking up the way houses are sold. That's next on the Jeff Crilley Show.